Yo, what's up, everybody? Turns out we got leaks. Yeah, for the official Valve Dota Auto Chess. I thought we would talk about it. So, we've got this video here somebody posted. The game is called Underlords. Right? There's a guy talking in the background of the video. I'm gonna link the video in the description if you want to watch it yourself. I'm not gonna. Like, we could listen to him, but it doesn't really talk anything in particular. Now, the most important thing to keep in mind here is this is on mobile. Alright, like this is mobile. So they are actually working on a mobile version of this. Now, let's go ahead and start talking about a bunch of things. Because I already saw people like in chat being like, oh, this isn't real. Now, I believe this is real. I think this is real. Okay? So let me go ahead and list a few reasons why I think this is real. We're going to go ahead and just play the video and you can watch that. So, the first reason why I think this is real, Valve actually was working on getting the Steam engine into, what's it called, into mobile. That was actually something they were working on for Artifact. Yeah, so you might be like, oh, but, you know, like, the engine doesn't work on mobile. Well, it's actually, they were working on getting it on mobile for Artifact, so now they are putting it, you know, now they're using it for this, which makes sense to me, right? So that's something that I think kind of is already reasonable, the fact that it's on mobile. Hey, RustBucket123. Now, I really hope that it isn't only a mobile, but that they also add in like a PC version. It is actually going to be a PC version. I really hope there's going to be a PC version. If it's only mobile, it's going to be hella lame. Now, the quality of this video is super bad. Now, I think actually the quality of the video being so bad is just a bad recording. Like, the way this looks to me is that it's just a poorly encoded recording, which is fine, right? Like, that's something that just kind of makes things look pretty bad. Now, you can see the heroes here. And I am, like, we're about to see the main thing that makes me believe this is real. All right. So by the way, you can see, oh, I love this. Look at that. You can click on them and then you see all of the stats. Oh, isn't that fantastic? Isn't that great? I love that. I think that's super cool. You can see all of the items, right? And they are actually really useful. You know, this is much better than I have seen from the Dota Auto Chess, where I feel like a lot of these quality of life features are just missing, but they have them here. So, one of the things that really makes me believe that this is real is coming up. Give it just 1 second. Yeah. Recruiter, the first reroll each round is free. Oh, that's interesting. Here we go. That's it. So you can see the synergies here. And take a second to look at Sniper and Gyrocopter. All right. So Sniper and Gyrocopter, usually in Dota Auto Chess, like the one that we currently have in the Dota Arcade, they are dwarves. And as dwarves, they have plus 300 attack range, which is hella fucking lame, right? Like, that's just the worst synergy. This is the most boring synergy. So they have been updated. Now, this is a little bit hard to read, but they have been updated to be Deadeye. And Deadeye, right, let's see if we can, there we go, a bit more readable. Deadeye units focus their attacks on the lowest health enemy. So, let's talk about that. That, in my opinion, is better gameplay design than the dwarf in regular Dota Auto Chess. This is much more interesting. All right, this is much more interesting. Now, if I were to fake this video, all right, what I would do, and I'm sure that is, you know, something that I'm sure that's the approach most people would take. What I would do is I would just make sure I copy all of the units from Dota Auto Chess exactly as they are. So all of the values are right when I'm showing the heroes, so that all of the synergies are right when I'm showing those. Because Valve wouldn't be so sloppy to add something in that was bad, right? If you make a game and you have this kind of basis where you already have a game and you're just kind of recreating that first, the very first thing you do is you just recreate the game from scratch, right? Like that's the first thing you do. You just completely remake it from scratch. And because of that, all of the synergies, all of that stuff would be exactly the same. And then you iterate on that and then you improve things, right? You would make them better. So this to me is an improvement. This to me is making the sniper and the gyrocopter more interesting, more unique, and more distinct, and just something that is better, right? So we have two possibilities here. Either the person that faked this video is so fucking next level, right? So absolutely next level that they went and fake designed and a better version of gyrocopter and sniper to go into this game, or this is real, right? If it was fake, I think what we could expect there is that the sniper and the gyrocopter have plus 300 attack range. I don't think that what we would expect is that they have a new set of abilities like that. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and see some gameplay in a second. Now, the gameplay is going to look like complete garbage, and that's something I've seen people use to discredit it, right? Now, I personally actually disagree with that. Now, we'll give it a second. All right, we're gonna see in just a second. It will start. Now, I do want to say that I already think that the map looks very good. The heroes are spawning in, all right? And you can see the frame rate is just terrible. The heroes are really badly imported. They have these black outlines around them, and it really just doesn't look very good. Now, here's the thing. That map doesn't exist anywhere like this, and it's very much in the Dota style. So if this video was to be faked, somebody would have to create a 3D modeled map like this. Right? Now, getting the heroes in here would be a lot easier, but, you know, it's still a shit ton of effort. Now, the heroes here, they look really bad. To me, this is just badly imported models, right? Like what I see here is that they just ripped the models straight from Dota and added them into auto chess like this. Right? They just ripped them straight from Dota and added them in. And I'm sure they're working on refinements. You saw that effect right there? This. And we're going to see a battle cry in a second. Right? As the axe taunts. Wait. There we go. This is just very short. But you see that really, really big, like kind of like particle effect? That's what a particle effect looks like when it's not properly finished. This is literally what I'm doing for work right now, right? A lot of my particle effects look exactly like this before I'm done with them. Like the first step of my particle effects is kind of like really big and blocky, right? And if you were to fake this, I just find it so unlikely that somebody would fake this error. Right? Like, this is a mistake. This is something that you don't really want to show off. And it just seems so unlikely that somebody that is probably more into video editing than, you know, creating games will go and, you know, make a mistake like that and put it in, like, deliberately. That just seems so weird. Right? So that, again, makes me think it's real. So, anyway, Axe is gonna kind of like move back here, which I think is actually cool. You can see like lots of small animations here, and I think the animations are really like kind of showing is that it's like it's got some Valve polish here, which I like a lot. Anyway, so this right here is, I think we're playing through the tutorial. Now, here's the thing that I also want to mention, right? I think people might believe that, oh, okay, you know, Valve is really kind of careful with sharing this kind of stuff, right? Like, they wouldn't just give this out to random people, and, you know, then they Like, oh, how would somebody even get their hands on a build this early where it's still so laggy? Oh, let's talk about the lag really quick. Right? You might be like, okay, well, it's lagging so much, like that's weird. Why would a game lag so much? Well, actually, that's perfectly normal. Like, honestly, if we go back a month, Spark was much laggier than this. I mean, it's super smooth now. It's not laggy at all, right? But if we go back a little bit, it was laggy because you gotta optimize things. You gotta work on them. And then as you optimize them, you kind of like gotta adjust them. To me, this is exactly the point of development they would be in if, let's say, they started working on this at the start of the year, which is when I assume they started working on it. Right? So we had that exact same kind of like problem where it was laggy. And now it's like not laggy anymore. Right? So I think that's totally not something that you can use to discredit it. I think that's totally something that you can use to say, oh no, this is actually real. Now, where was I going with this? I was about to say something before I was talking about the lag. You see the axe animation now smooth. Yeah, that's just these kind of inconsistencies that, like I really don't think that's something you can point to and say, oh, that's a mistake. Right? Oh yeah, so one of the things that, you might say, okay, well, Valve wouldn't just hand out keys for this freely, or wouldn't just give this to people randomly. Well, actually, for Artifact, from what I heard, what I read online, they actually handed keys for Artifact out like candy, right? There wasn't even like a proper NDA that they gave people. They didn't even make people sign anything. They were just kind of like, please don't share it, and then just gave people keys. Now with Artifact it worked because, everybody was kind of like being really careful with Artifact because they were hoping it was going to be the next big thing and all of that stuff, right? But they were actually just handing keys out like candy. Like, I know, for example, what they did is they just gave people keys to like give to other people, right? They weren't even giving them out just first hand. They were totally fine with like having them second hand passed along, right? So that, to me, like the bigger surprise, in my opinion, is honestly that Artifact didn't get, a bunch of leaks. But I feel like with Artifact, people were being really, really careful. They didn't want to like kind of anger Valve because they were hoping to get in on that $1 million tournament. This game doesn't have a $1 million tournament announced, right? There's no $1 million tournament here, at least not yet, right? Yeah, and Artifact did also have a bunch of leaks. You're right, Shu. Sorry, definitely did have some, right? So I think again that's not something that really discredits this. From what I can see, the way I look at this is I do not see any reason why this isn't real. Right? Like, I just don't see anything that makes this fake. Like, that makes me think this is fake. Instead, I see stuff that makes me think it's real. It makes me think, oh yeah, this is probably what the game is gonna look like. This is probably what they're doing with it. And yeah. Oh, what is that? Okay, well, that's weird. Is that like, oh, okay, weird. Alright, the video just ends with some weird shit. Like some old Valve stuff. But yeah. So, I gotta say, I'm actually excited by this too. I like the way the map looks. Look at this. This is really pretty. This is really pretty. Like, they really put a lot of effort into that. I like how they have quality of life changes. That's something that I personally really miss from the Johto Auto Chess mobile version. I don't know if you guys have actually played this, but it doesn't really have any quality of life changes. I don't really think it's all that good. This one's got a bunch, right? Like this right here. This is all good stuff. So yeah, now the biggest thing that kind of bumps me out about it is MOBA. Like, fuck that shit. But, like, if they are, I feel like they might make mobile and PC. Right, they might make both. I don't really see a problem with that. But yeah. The dude said that's something like mobile version, so it sounds like it's not only mobile. Yeah, I think it's likely that they'll make a PC version as well.
Loves Puzzle Box 3 with Satsar or I spam W next sub like this www.
Hey Glacian, how are you
doing?
But overall, I think this actually looks really, really quite nice. Something that they also changed here, by the way, is that, again, this doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't change this if I was faking it, that the heroes just walk instead of jump. I actually like that. I think that makes it feel a lot better. I always thought it was kind of weird that the heroes on auto chess jump. I guess that it kind of feels more like auto chess. I don't know. My biggest problem with this game is this name. Holy shit, that is the worst name. Underlords? Why Underlords? Who gives a shit about Underlord? Who wants to be an Underlord? Is that something you've always wanted to be? When I grow up, I will be an Underlord. What even is an Underlord? I do not like that name. That is, I don't like that name. I don't like that name. I don't like it. I don't like that name. I think they could have called it really like anything else. It would have been better. But I don't know. Anyway, so that was that. Just kind of wanted to talk about the leak a little bit. I think it's actually kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow.